Newbie dooby doo, where are you? We've got some words to write now. There's narratives to spew. Pro Purdue, Kentucky fans won't quiet down.
Oh.
Brian Neubert with a new article for Black and Gold, I believe. Is that on three? Excuse me. Geez, goldandblack.com on three. Brian Neubert, the go-to Purdue insider, the best in the biz. We know it. We love him. We talk about him like every single day on this channel because he's doing so much great stuff. Anyways, he has takeaways documented from the Purdue Kentucky exhibition game. You've heard us cover this at length. You've heard a lot of different sources chime in. There are wildly varying opinions. There's people who want to drop Purdue to eighth in the poll. There's people who are like, this didn't matter. It's not a problem whatsoever. Everything's going to be fine. We're somewhere in the middle. Where does Brian Neubert land? Let's talk about it. One of his biggest takeaways from this game was an interesting angle I don't feel like I've heard too many people discuss. He wrote this, quote, Purdue's lineups were warped reality. You will not see Braden Smith and Trey Kaufman-Renn on the bench together in a first half ever again this season. You saw it tonight as Painter was just throwing a substance at the wall to see what stuck. Smith and Omar Meyer have barely practiced together to this point, but they overlapped for a good chunk of the freshman's 13 minutes. This was not the Boilermaker team you'll see once the games count. Had this been the regular season, Smith wouldn't have left the floor till the game was decided. They were crowbarring in minutes for freshmen. End excerpt from Brian Neubert. Warped reality, lineups you won't see again. Braden and TKR will never be off the floor together again in meaningful minutes. Braden wouldn't leave the floor until the game is decided. Do you agree with Brian Neubert that this is the correct view at how Purdue's going to do lineups this year?
Can I look at it this way?
Whatever way you want, my friend.
Don't care what reality was warped or what reality you're in. Or if Braden didn't choose to leave the floor until they won that game, he wouldn't have left the floor. He'd still be at Rupp. They would have lost. They would have lost. Kentucky played better than them.
I don't think Neubert's denying that. I think there are other takeaways that we're not talking about in this video that allude to that. He talked about the defense needs to be better. He talked about the rebounding concerns, etc. He's not denying that. I'm just, is he on to something with the lineup stuff, warped reality or not? Because I watched this. He's right about Braden and TKR. That felt notable for like a couple minutes.
But was that like that notable though? Because it wasn't that much.
Well, it didn't flip this game. 2 minutes without those guys on it didn't flip it. But I think he's right. That's not going to be a normal part of the rotation. Everything else that happened in this game, though, I think is going to be a normal part of the rotation. Like him implying that Omer and Braden won't happen. Really? Are we like really? What was the point of bringing Omer Meyer to this roster then? If both things after one exhibition game where they played largely Omer and Braden together, if the write up after is that Braden will never come off the floor again, and Omer and Braden don't even practice together, they won't play together. Why'd you bring Omer Meyer to Purdue?
I really don't know. I mean, you brought it. The reason you brought him here, well, maybe the 2 year plan was you don't play in the first year.
Wasn't the entire sell that he was gonna like get Braden minor rests?
Yeah,
And now we're one exhibition through this. They lost, and he's never gonna come off the floor.
right.
Like,
And yeah, it just doesn't seem like that. I mean, I thought one of the points this is that, and I know Braden himself's like, I want to play every minute, I want to play every part of the game. But the fact of the matter is, I think it got to the end of last year, and there's a little bit of tired legs from doing so much, and it would benefit to work in Meyer a little bit in that situation.
you still want Braden at 35 minutes, but that's not
Yeah.
that's not 40 minutes.
Listen, when I watched this game live, I just didn't come away with like oh, I'll never see this lineup again.
I felt that when they had Braden and TKR off together. I did have that audible thought to myself watching this in real time. But
But you don't think
it
that'll
was
ever happen?
momentary.
You don't think that'll ever happen even for a little bit?
Not until a game is over.
Okay.
They'll come out when the game's over. But in games, no, I don't think it happened last year much, did it? I can't really recall them ever having both those guys off in like a first half.
Yeah, I can't think maybe.
But
No.
again, they did that for 2 minutes. He didn't run this for 10 minutes. Like you would have a point on this if the whole first half of this exhibition, those guys were watching Jack Benter run around. They did
Right.
it for like a minute and a half. TKR still played 29 minutes. Braden played 32. Like
Right.
that wasn't that far off how many minutes those guys are going to play this year.
Yeah. Well, that's my point. I didn't think it was that much. I didn't think it was significant, I
Uh,
guess is the word I would use.
on the Omer stuff, I said this in the recap, but my suspicion was maybe this was some intel on why CJ Cox won the starting spot, right? Because if you wanted to play Omer and Braden together, and that is actually a part of the plan going forward, I really like bringing Jakari off the bench and you sub Jakari for Fletcher when you go to that lineup. That makes sense to me. I interpreted this exhibition like one of the key things I liked in the exhibition game was, oh, tactically, that's really sound. That makes sense. Neubert seems to be implying that's not going to happen again or not happen much. So I don't know. Where do you stand on that? Because to me, it's kind of like, okay, they're starting Cox, so you can have Harris play with Omer and Braden.
Mhm.
But I guess I'm a little more confused on like why didn't the Harris breakout result in a starting spot if the conclusion from this is Meyer and Braden aren't going to play together.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I mean, even you and I watching that in the first half, I thought that I saw some good things from Omer and Braden playing together that I think
Yeah.
could benefit this team, especially if you're not going to get any shooting from Fletch too, because I don't think you get much else from him. So uh, if that's going to be a thing, I think you would want to be able to have the flexibility to put Omer in the game. That's why you bring him here. That's why you have other guys too, like Jakari that can come in the game. But like just Omer specifically, I think you want to have it in a spot where you utilize his talent if you're not getting something from other guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think there's a world where you do see Omer and Braden together.
Yeah, I need to see the plan for Omer at some point. And I know you're not going to, like all things Purdue, trust me, we've beat a dead horse on this today. You're not going to prioritize anybody but the big three. You've got this special senior season for those three. Like you're not going to worry about Omer's needs or CJ's needs or any of these guys' needs when you're worried about what fits best for our three superstars. But um, I at least am very curious what the plan is because I don't feel like what Brian is laying out here is necessarily how I felt watching the exhibition. I didn't come away from the exhibition being like, oh, we're never going to play Omer with Braden again. I'm hoping the opposite happens, to be honest. And I like it. I think it's tactically sound to do it. But again, Neubert knows this stuff. Neubert has the intel from the staff on all this stuff. Like I would assume he has a better understanding than we do, and it kind of makes me more concerned on what exactly is going to happen with Omer going forward. At minimum, if he's not playing with Braden though, he better get like 5 minutes spelling Braden. You can't do both of those at the same time, can you? Braden never comes off the floor again, and he also never plays with Omer.
I got it. I know what this is.
What is
Do-
it?
Dominant non-con run coming up. That's what it is. We're going to be able to put him on the floor. Braden will come off the floor because the game will be in a good spot.
Oh, we're gonna win every game by 25, and Omer gets the final 10 minutes.
Yep,
I like that. You got to go better than 3 from 17 from three to do that, don't you?
you do.
Yeah. Okay. Spin zone. Oh, we got there. We figured this is the way out for Purdue fans. This is way better than we did in Scout. Braden and Fletcher tanked their shooting percentages because they didn't want to come off the floor.
All right.
They felt, oh my God, we actually have a bench this year. If we're winning, Paint's going to take us out.
You're a sicko.
Let's miss all our shots so we play 30 minutes.
That is the danger of flip side correlation.
That's that's flip side correlation at its worst.
Yeah, that's that you're tainting flip side correlation with that.
Sorry.